You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Welcome to another episode of Queen3 and King. I am King Dog, the host with the most in this mother. I might behave a little bit because we have a special guest, which I'll get into in just a moment. I probably won't, but just in case, if I'm not my normal, usual, jovial, cussing self, you know why.
You don't need to be cussing, no way.
I know, shit. I'm tired of cussing.
Just be you. Be you.
Hey, all right. So today we're discussing love and war. Again, today we're discussing love and war, and I will be introducing my host, and then we will dive into the topic. We are without the baby queen today. She is out and about, gallivanting across the planet, across the globe, as she's celebrating her birthday. So happy birthday to the baby queen. Let's see. All right. So first, out north, very close to Oklahoma, in Van Augustine, we have the season queen, Darling Nikki, Boney Maroney, Skinny Minnie, Coco, the grandma herself. What up, Queen?
Hey, y'all. Hope you guys had a wonderful day.
Hey. They said hey.
They said no. It's Monday.
All right. And
or
next,
Tuesday.
She's looking so very fuzzy back there for some reason. I just looked at.
Who?
Mika?
Yeah, that's all right. This look like you're on one of them laptops from the 1900s, but that's all right.
Not 1900.
So again, she's fresh. There you go. It cleaned up.
Yes, better now.
Okay.
That proves she doesn't dust in her house because it was probably just.
I know you lying.
Be doing that.
I know you lying.
All she do is sit up and drink wine. She don't clean up or nothing around that house.
Tag, you lying. I know my sister.
And fresh.
Okay.
Out of one imbroglio with Tulsa, but into another imbroglio where an ankle monitor is involved. But we can't really discuss that all the way. But you know, if you hear signs of sirens and the laptop get all shaky and fall off the table or something, you know they taking their ass down.
Oh my gosh.
Jerk.
But we have the educator queen. Meba, TT, talk to the people, Queen.
Good evening.
All right, and joining us, we have
love that.
The first lady of BS3 Network, Erica Sudderth, and the host of the newest show to the BS3 Network, Life Coaching 360, Mrs. Erica Sudderth.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be joining you. Thank you for inviting me, and y'all are always fun. So thank you. I'm happy to be here.
You like that little short promo that I came up with?
That was nice. Thank you.
That was a slow groove for me.
Yeah, that's why she picked it too. I figured she'd pick something mellow like that.
I almost backslide on that.
I did.
Wow. Yeah, that music is another golden eye creation, and Chico put that down, and
Go nephew.
he asked me,
Chico Rico.
he's like, what kind of vibe you gonna need? I said, just send me a variety. I need some thumping, I need some laid back stuff. I said, just send me a few. And that's one of the ones he sent me. So that is now the Life Coaching 360 theme. So how you doing, Miss Sudderth? You all right? And tell us a little bit about this Life Coaching 360 and what we can expect.
Absolutely. I'm doing well. Again, happy to be here to join you guys. Life Coaching 360, I am a life coach. That's my passion. And I've been able to help people since 2018. And with BS3 Network and all these amazing podcasts, it's just a beautiful season to be able to connect with people, help them heal from the inside out, and to be able to thrive. And it's a table where everybody's welcome. So as we have conversations, I'll be interviewing individuals. Sometimes it'll just be me, but it'll be topics that sometimes I feel listeners, audience, people who we love, they don't always have words to put with how they feel. Or you're feeling a certain type of way, but you just like, you need something to connect to it to be like, oh, that's what it is. And then how can I work through that? So that's what it's about. I hope it'll be a blessing to people. It's even therapeutic for me. So it's a place where everybody is welcome.
I'm sure it will be.
That's what's up. We have a few comments, and we'll start out with Trey, who put the BS3.
Erica, you better grin because my man typed in. I'll be like this.
Yeah. Let's see what I want to say about this. She finally can start doing a podcast because he's to a point to where she don't have to babysit him all the time. So
not babysit.
She got a little bit more time on her hands.
Good Lord.
And you never did tell me what you thought about this bottle of wine I sent y'all home with after
I thought I did. It was good, but it didn't have that smooth kick like I like. It kind of had that soda punch. So I'm like, it was good.
What wine was
it? It was the Menage a Trois.
Sultry, red. Yeah.
You have to go with the Cabernet Menage a Trois. It's more subtle and it won't have that soda kick.
All right. I'll have to try that one. But it was good. It just had that soda kick.
And speaking of wine, this is why I thought about wine.
Don't do that.
We got Aunt Marita in the building. She's a Hey family.
Hey, Aunt Marita.
And she's got her own wine line called Oliver Wine. So I had to give you a bottle of that.
Baby, I wish that was. I'd be retired.
And then we got Aunt Weed in the building. She goes, hey, my lovely family. How are you?
Hey, Aunt Weed.
And then we got Bree Mac, LaBrisha Gail Mac in the building. Straight out of East Texas by way of Atlanta, right across the street from the one Walmart that was in town, and right behind the one Dairy Queen that was in town. Nick, you remember that Dairy Queen back there? We could walk through the back of the house. That's all I remember, places to get snacks and food.
Yep.
All right, we're going to dig into this topic. Again, love and war. We've all heard the saying, all is fair in love and war. Let's dive into it. And we're going to start with our special guest with this one. Erica, is all fair in love and war?
I would say no. Because when you think of what love is and you consider what war is, I don't see how the two are compatible. When you love somebody, sometimes it's hard to love people. But it requires a sacrifice, sometimes a compromise. Sometimes you have to die to yourself to, be able to do life or navigate with this person. But when you talk about war, that's different. That's like nation against nation. That means I hate you. And I don't see how you can love and hate somebody at the same time.
But they say it's a thin line between love and hate.
Ain't nobody told you cross that line, though.
Exactly.
That's
when
mine.
the private parts get involved, that line.
Oh,
You get
That-
blunt.
well, ain't
Things
it?
can
Hey,
get
it's the
blurry.
truth. Hey, you can get sensitive if you want to.
Oh, I
When
ain't
the
sensitive.
privates get involved, it's a little easier. And it's ironic that she went there right off the bat and asked, I don't see what they have to do with each other. We're going to break that down on the second half of the show because I wanted to go there as well. So, okay, good answer, Erica. So let's go to Mika. Mika, is all fair in love and war?
No, all is not fair. I'm with Erica. Love and war don't live harmoniously together.
Spell it.
HAROM.
Nope.
You get a pass. It's been a
Gotta
long
ask.
day. You get a pass.
Didn't
Gotta
she
ask
tell
so
you she had a hard
quick,
day?
boy.
HARMONOUSLY.
No.
Boom.
No.
I had to come back. Yes, it is.
Got
Well,
it.
I went to UIL behind my spelling.
Yeah, behind in your spelling there.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm talking about by the fourth letter she was out. HARO, and the eyes got big.
knew-
Oh shit!
You know what? Skip
I
me.
done blew it.
I came back though.
I love it. So did you give your answer harmonious? They're not harmonious. Go ahead and finish. She got her schooling in Tulsa, y'all. Don't worry about Garland.
Oh my God.
How does she
Got
live
your
in
back. You
Garland and
birthday
think her school in
twins,
Tulsa?
I don't know. That may have been the
You
problem.
went online?
Oh man, that tickled me today, boy. I'm so glad I ain't had no
Harmoniously.
drinks today.
That is right. Now I'm about to Google it. I know I spelled it right. Harmoniously. I spelled it right.
I think you recovered, but your first attempt was wrong. But go ahead. Now you say they're not harmonious. Anything else on that?
Love and war. I think, boy, you messed me up. Go to Nikki. Let me look this word up.
Nico, it's all fair in love and war.
No, it is not. And I definitely agree with what Erica said and what Mika was saying as well, because I don't even think it is a possibility to hate somebody that you love, or I can't fathom that. So, and why would you want to hurt that person by hating them? Oh, good job, Mika. You did it.
Now, on your second attempt, let's make sure everybody know that.
Thank you, guys.
But yeah, I agree with that. You cannot. I don't buy that.
Okay, well, I may give you a slightly different perspective then.
Okay, well, give it to
because
me.
they said all is fair in love and in war. I don't think they're trying to say love and war are the same.
Gotcha.
They just may be saying that the rules of engagement are similar, right? Okay, and
That
I'm
could be
gonna dig into. I'm gonna try to save some of this for the end, just to change the perspective. But so think about love, right? And it's not just a romantic love that we're
Right.
talking about.
That's true.
Right? Sometimes it could be in a mother's love for a child and
Right.
protecting him. So is everything fair in me trying to protect my child when she's been wrong? Because there's a lot of folks that'll say you can do anything you want to do to me, but when you do it to my kid,
Don't mess my
now I'm
I
gonna
done
go.
said that so many times.
And a lot of times they're going to be disregarding the law when they do it. So again, just be broad-minded and say, is all fair in love and war? So now I'm going to get some comments and then we're going to segue into our next question. And if you are in the viewing audience in the chat, we want to know your thoughts on this. Is all fair in love and war? Why is it not the same? Again, we're not saying love and war is the same, but is everything fair? Is all fair game? We've also heard people say that when you're in a relationship or when you're in love or when you're playing, you got to go in with your eyes wide open, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You can get hurt, right? So, so if somebody does something wrong to you and you say, that's not fair. What is that going to get you? That's going to make them do right because it ain't fair? Joker sitting at home playing video games and smoking weed, that ain't fair.
Oh,
You at
no,
work all day
no.
long. But you put up with it. If a joker is infidelity is not fair,
Right.
But you signed up for the potential of things going wrong, right? When a man doesn't communicate with a woman, when a woman doesn't communicate with a man, think about all the things that can go wrong in a relationship. When we sign up for relationships, we're signing up knowing something could go wrong.
It's a risk.
So is it fair?
That's true.
Is it unfair?
That's true.
We'll talk about it a little later. So let's see. We're gonna get some of these comments. So Grace says, first, hold on, I missed her first comment. She goes, "Hey," and then we got either Mama Sudderth or Daddy Sudderth there. That's probably Mama Sudderth. Who knows? They say, "Greetings, fam." They find out they daughter-in-law on, and all of a sudden, here come the sons.
They could be sitting there together. They probably sitting there together watching.
Yeah,
they probably watching this together, holding hands, doing their famous head nod for the Sons of Us podcast. You can catch them Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. on BS3 Network, BS3
Central
TV,
Standard Time.
etc. Yep. We got Shannon in the building. She goes,
"Hey,
what's going on?" And Ben said, "No babysitting." LOL. Yep, I know. Grace says, "I love everyone." And we just said, "Hell no, all is not fair with love and war. Love me or leave me." Wow.
Oh,
right now.
And Trey says, "I never understand the love and war comment." Well, we gonna get you some understanding. Mika, he also says Mika spelling bee champ. Maybe no.
I
gave her a second chance. You know, the spelling bee, your ass is sitting in the audience with your mama and grandmama at the end.
Wait, what school was it for the UIL? Austin? Or where?
Club Hill and Austin Academy.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, by the time you got to the 9th grade level, the words got too big. She couldn't handle it.
No, I got cute in the 9th grade. I wasn't spelling.
Okay.
Grace
says you can love folks and not like them. Yes, I have an aunt. Her name is Linda Traylor. She says all the time, "I love you, but I don't like you." And I'm okay with that. Look at her. She goes, "Hey, Queen and Kings, and guest Blue Streak in the house."
Hey,
Blue Streak in the building. And we had her shout out to Golden Brooks. So I've been asking about Golden Brooks over the last 2 weeks because we hadn't heard from her, and I wanted to make sure she was all right. We reached out to her, and Theodora and Brian got a hold of her, and she's all right. She's just busy, a little bit more busy around this time than she typically is. So,
okay. I'm glad she's well.
She said she's going to try to tune in tonight, but she's good. And see, that's the difference. I try to make folks understand that it's the difference between Queen3 and King and a lot of the podcasts on BS3 Network is that our viewers, we really become family. We're discussing some sensitive topics, but we're having some fun and we laughing and we crying and we et cetera, but we're developing this relationship,
Right.
So when you're not there, we miss you. We know who you are. We're not just going through the motions with this thing. We're connecting. Let's see. We got Southern House podcast. Let's see, the Sudderths out of Georgia say we've all heard of a love-hate relationship. Right on. And it's probably just as many of them as the love relationships out there.
Right.
I promise you. Blue Streak Freak says, "Hey, Erica," and she goes, "Yes, Mama's here supporting daughter." See, I told you. I told you.
That's nice.
Pastor Dodd in the building says, "Long live King and Queen."
Hey.
And we've got Grace who says, "War is a battle, so the approach is different. The mindset is different. War, we ain't taking no prisoners. Love, I'll give you chances, so it's not fair." Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Because I think it's a song out there that say "Love is a battlefield." Yeah, I mean, it's a classic rock song, so y'all might not have heard it.
I know that song.
It's one, so hey. Let's see. Blue Streak Freak says, "Yes, indeed. Thank you, family." All right. Okay, so now let's dig into this other one. So you're telling me that love and war is different. This is what y'all said, and we're gonna start with you on this, Mika. That it's different. War is war, and love is something different. So you can't do whatever. Yeah. So you're telling me that we are bound by rules of fair play in love. Okay, and so I'm going to say that, make this statement, right, which came up in some of my research. Okay. Every action you take in either love or war, the thought is the action is justified and you do not have to follow a set of non-existent rules. Okay, so every action you take in either love or war, the action is just justified, and you do not have to follow a set of non-existent rules. Now, I may beg to differ with that a little bit, because in war there are some rules set forth by the Geneva Convention or whatever, right? So let's talk about this. There are no rules in love, though. So are you trying to tell me we're bound by rules of fair play in love? Got it, Coach.
That's a tough one.
And anybody want to jump in, they can. Remember, we ended up. So Erica, Nikki, if y'all want to jump in, jump in.
I don't think they're the same rules, but I think there are different strategies. I don't know if I would use the word rules, but there are different strategies that you have to take in order to make both successful. So yes, they differ in many ways.
So we're bound by rules of fair play.
I'm not going to go in the same, and there are no rules.
Yeah.
In my mind, to love and war.
So you just told me then, if there are no rules, you're telling me all is fair, because isn't rules designed to create boundaries?
No.
So if there's no rules, then all is fair. All is fair game. Use whatever you have at your disposal. Erica, you're chomping at the bit.
Well, first, so there's a few parts to this. Number one, who determines the rules? Meaning it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
So when you let's talk about the different areas. You got family, friends, intimate relationships. So when it comes to family, for example, you meet somebody, you like this person, you now think, I want to take this to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Between the two of you, you guys create those boundaries, meaning you choose. I'm choosing to be with you. And in choosing to be with you, hopefully both parties have laid out their expectations, how we want to grow this. Now you introduce them to your family. Your family already has some set rules in place and standards in place. What I love most when we came to your house, your mom walked in and said, "You make yourself at home." But it just set a standard.
Girl, she thought that was her house. She said, "Make yourself at home, everybody."
But look, what if she was dating someone and your mom said that? And she's like, "No, you can't tell somebody to get comfortable in his house." Well, now she's overstepped her boundaries because there was already something set. So I guess what I'm saying is, when you ask the question, is it fair? Well, who made the rules? What's the standard? Like, it has to be put out on the table. Then you can say, is this fair? Me and her, we're serious. How's she gonna tell my mom no? My mom's always, so now you have to set some new rules and expectations.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Great perspective.
Expectations. I like that. I like expectations better than rules.
Yeah.
Because rules carry a negative connotation to them. But if I say, this is what I expect, this is what our norm should be in this relationship, people hear that better. So I like that. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Anybody got anything to add on that? Are we bound by rules of fair play? Is every action you take in either love and war? And I want to concentrate on love here in this scenario, right? We got to consider the war aspect of it, just because we're doing a bit of a comparison, and there are some similarities, let's just say, in rules of engagement, right? I'll keep saying that phrase. But so are we not bound by rules of fair play? If y'all got anything else to add, and I'm going to read some comments on this. And before I do, if you're watching on YouTube, please click the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We appreciate you here, and we'd love to know your thoughts on this topic. Love and war, is all fair? Are there rules to engagement? Are we bound by rules, or is it just fair play? And I'm going to give you a different perspective on that when we get to our next question on this. All right, so to a couple of comments. Let's see, we got K-Rap in the building. It says, good evening, family.
I be giggling hard.
What's up, man? Me and him had a fantastic conversation today. Brother to brother, where I checked him, and I'm gonna check him some more too.
All right, now.
Let's see, Trey says, what about the song Love and Happiness? What about it? What about the song What's Love Got to Do with It? So what? We just gonna start naming songs in this
Two
one?
of my favorites.
Al Green.
Golden.
Hey, Golden.
You call her, she just like the Candy Man. You call her name 3 times, she show up. You hear me?
Yeah.
Living my life like it's golden.
Living my life like it's golden.
Hey,
I'm
beautiful
so
family,
glad
what's
you're
up,
here.
baby?
Yes, we
We
missed
We
you.
missed you. We missed you. All right, Grace says, love, I choose to stay in that war zone until I don't. Now, war and love have boundaries. Both do different approaches.
Different.
Okay, and I want y'all to keep remembering some of these comments now about, war and love, and one's a battle and one's not. Because again, I think this is going to come back into play. Okay, back into focus. Let's see. A-Trap says something that'll make you do wrong, make you do right. Hello.
Right now.
And love should have brought your ass home last night, right?
See? And the night before.
Kirby Alexander said, peace and love on this evening. What's up, Kirby?
Hey, Kirby.
Grace says, boundaries are not barriers.
Nope.
Boundaries are a beautiful space where we allow the relationship to thrive.
Yes,
Barriers
ma'am.
are laws. Relationship won't thrive. No room to throne. Okay. CJ said, what's good, y'all? Watching our podcast as I work out, very therapeutic. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I know.
Okay, here we go. Paul Caraway said, what the hell are y'all talking about? Just tuned in. Never mind. I know now. Wow. Charlotte Wilson, the best voice on Good for This Network. Hadn't heard from her in a minute.
Charlotte.
Good to see you, Miss Wilson. I see she got them locks
on good. She getting ready for the school year.
She got the modified fish lip look on too, right there, don't she? Good evening, everyone. I see you trying to make them cheekbones stand out.
She ain't have to try.
No, she doing it.
Let's see. A-Trap says, in life it has to be rules. That's what separates us from animals. Woo!
Oh, that's good.
Woo, that's a strong one, ain't it? AJ Jones, good. I talked to this fella today too. Yeah, I was full of outreach today. I was doing my outreach ministry today, so I reached out to AJ.
Bless you.
What's up?
You didn't reach back out to me after you called me.
No, I didn't, because I was reaching out to other folks. He goes, great evening, family. Sure. What's going on, my man? Golden Brooks, so that's right. I'll show up. I miss y'all too. Awesome. A-Trap says, love is a battle for the heart. That's the war. And that's it right there. So that's a nice segue right there. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, so are we allowed to be deceitful to fulfill our objective, right? So y'all have been considering this love thing and war thing in terms of, wait a minute, they're not the same, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. What if you got a guy or a girl who's trying to fulfill their objective? I want her. I want her to be my significant other. I want her to be my girlfriend. I want her to be my wife, right? Mm-hmm. Is it fair if he goes stalking her social media to try to figure out what she likes? What's her favorite color? What's her favorite music? What part of town does she, whatever he's trying to figure out, right? Mm-hmm. Are we allowed to be deceitful to fulfill our objective? And guess what? The objective sometimes could be love. Anybody can take that.
How is that deceitful?
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, because you're not going to tell them necessarily. I've been looking at your stuff. I'm trying to find out secrets about. I might even call your best friend and say, or DM them and say, hey, let me tell you what's the deal. Give me some inside information, so I can make the first date, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's deceitful at all. 90% of people who are in the dating world are gonna look up your profile. Because they're trying to go into that knowing as much as they can before they try to progress in this relationship or dating or whatever the situationship or whatever the case may be. So I don't think that's deceitful. Number two, if your objective is love, deceit shouldn't live with it either. So if you're trying to love someone, why is the deceit even in the equation?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell Erica, you got anything to add on that?
Go ahead, Miss Nicole.
No, what I was gonna say is that right there, Ken and I just talked about this earlier today because we got some bad news.
Who did?
Ken and I did.
Okay,
we got some bad news from some people that we know, and it's not good. They had something happen to a family member or whatever. So we talked about that, and I was telling him, I said, now that I'm glad that I don't have to date in this day and age. And I said, because you never know what people are capable of. And I said, if I was dating right now, whoever was trying to pursue me, I would probably do a background check.
Treatment.
The way people are.
Oh my God.
What do you say?
Tree man.
Tree man. He's gone on to glory. They'll be making fun of him.
I have to tell you that story one day, Erica.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Erica.
And I don't think that's wrong.
Yeah, background checking. So.
Mm-hmm.
Erica,
stuff like that.
I saw your brain churning over there, trying to mull it up. And let me just say this: Erica is gonna be reasonable about this. She's gonna consider all angles, even if she doesn't initially agree with it. She's gonna consider your shit. So go ahead.
So when I hear what you're saying, again, I go back to it's a choice. You find somebody who you think you might be interested in, and you are seeking love. There's nothing wrong with doing a background check and checking out that person. But at the end of the day, they may not want you. So then where the hate comes in is if you are pursuing something for selfish reasons, which on the front end, it's because you have a desire. We all have a natural desire. We want connection. But that doesn't mean that that person's going to want you. And so when you ask the question, is it fair? It makes me think of somebody who says, oh, I opened up the door for her and she didn't say thank you. Oh, I bought him lunch and he didn't even have to sit with me to eat, or those things. And so it's like, but that's not fair. That's not fair. But what was your motive and your intent? Did they may not want you. They may not be seeking that. And that's not a bad thing. But so when you ask the question, is it fair? It depends on who's seeking and what is it that you're seeking. And are you being objective about it? Because you might want it, but that doesn't mean they want you.
All right, well, if you don't want me, give me my Caesar salad back. Hell, I bought you that and got extra chicken breast on it. Hey, with good intentions.
If you give me a Caesar salad, I'm gonna kiss you.
Okay. So let me. So this is a conversation that I had with some fellas today. Okay. Women, wives, girlfriends. Do you think, because again, we're talking about the word deceit, right? And it could be, we could be putting that in the category of omissions, right?
Yeah.
And let me just say, do you think your man tell you everything?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't want to know everything.
I'm telling you. Well, you sure? Because on the Man Talk Mondays about a month or so ago, you said you wanted to know. And we was talking about you can't handle the truth. And sometimes they're going to lie about it. A lie is deceit, is it not? And I'm telling you, sometimes he going to lie to you for your own good.
I've heard here lately, I've heard that you lie to the one you love.
Why would you do that? Are you doing that because you're trying to be hurtful to them? And even if it's a bad decision, right? Your intent may have been good, right? I need to protect them from this information or whatever, okay? And I'm telling you right now, I know a lot of men who are just not going to tell you every worry that they have, everything that they're considering in y'all's life.
You're using some strong words.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, it all depends. Yes, a man or woman, you're not going to tell everything. Sometimes women, we don't even have the words to describe what we're feeling. Sometimes it's just I don't know. It's tears. Like that's how we feel. And to a man, that doesn't mean anything at all. It's like, well, what do you want me to do with that? So now there's no communication. For a man, you're correct. There's things that you guys have to carry and process that you don't either know how to share or you don't want to share because it may create a burden. And so it's more of a way to protect. And
so you lie to protect.
When you say lie, now when you lie with intent to be deceptive or hurt somebody, that's different. But if you are choosing not to share something because you're trying to guard somebody's heart, like, oh, I got fired today. I may not want to tell my wife I got fired. So let me start looking for a job. You're not trying to be deceptive. It's like you don't want to create stress and pressure if it's not necessary, because maybe you get that job next week and now there's no issue. And you get to say, hey, I got a new opportunity. To me, that's not a lie, but it creates a space for the conversation. First, say, well, what made you look at that? Well, this and this happened, but I didn't want to worry you. To me, that's the way, sometimes that's how a man can love and care for their family. So I think we have to be careful with our words because it's strong. Because you can be straight up deceitful. You know, that's different than,
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you in the words of the great prophet, Stephen Aloysius Wonder. He said, "What did your mama tell you about lies?" He said, "One white one turns into a black one." So it might be a white lie.
That's what he said.
It's not gonna say white for long. I think it just depends. Like we're talking about love and war. If you're in love, your lie is gonna be a lot different. I'm trying to protect you when I lie.
Right.
But in war, I'm trying to advance and progress if I lie. Because it's a different, and it's deceitful usually if you're in war. But in love, I've always told people, and Lord, forgive me. Now, if you're gonna lie to me and I find out you lying, you're in trouble. I'd rather for you to hurt me with the truth than hurt me with the lie.
Exactly.
I do.
Somebody call John Lewis right quick, please.
And John, you better be gone. You better not pick up the phone.
All right, we're going to get some more comments after station identification.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
All right, so a few more comments, and of course, it's lighting up in the place. Okay, so Charlotte says, we need to remember we are a team and it's us against the world. It's us against the problem, not each other.
Yeah.
And H-Rap, I don't know on which part, but he goes, yeah, that's fair. And Charlotte said, isn't that part of courting? And I'm sure she's talking about the background kind of stuff.
And I'm sure H-Rap's probably talking about the background check too. Right.
Grace says, learning about a person is not deceitful. Charlotte says, that's strategy, not deceit. H-Rap said that's recon. Weta says years ago a movie named The War of the Roses reminded me of
awesome movie
starring Michael Douglas. Yep. AJ says people will look up profile information and public record information these days standard. Let's see. Trey says Facebook talking is just research. Companies do it before they hire you. And they do, and also colleges before they give you or stick with that, because there's some jokers that doesn't always take scholarships.
Yeah, employers do too.
Yeah.
Charlotte says, Golden, I've missed you. It's so good to get my heart again. All right. Grace says, that shows interest, stalk me in a healthy way. Wow. let's put that on the throw pillow. Yeah, stalk me in a healthy way. Whoever, I bet you didn't wake up this morning thinking you were going to say that shit, did you? She said, exactly, Erica. What is the intention? Miss you too, Charlotte. Theodora Blue Streak Freak says, no way, women don't either. I don't know exactly what she's talking about. Spank says, thank you, H-Rap. Come on through, man. Yeah, come on through.
Talking about the Spanx that you wear.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Come on through. And I'm sure he just stopped right there. He had 4 or 5 more in his mind. He said the funniest one he could think of, but he got 4 or 5 more. Let's see, the fifth Beatle. Speaking of K-Rap. Hello.
Hey,
she probably just woke up for her nap. Let's see. Golden Brook says, Nicole, I love that hair, girl.
Thank you, lady.
Yeah, she done had it for about 4 or 5 weeks ago. You hadn't been here, so we probably finna have to take it down Saturday.
Yeah, it's
Sunday.
gonna be coming down soon.
Grace says, no, they don't tell you everything we know. All right, come on. It's deceit to ask. It's deceit if you ask a direct question and he lies. Just because he says he or she doesn't volunteer that, they're doing their homework. That's not being deceitful. Okay, so let's take that direct question, and he still doesn't give you that answer.
You're a liar.
Sometimes he may be doing that to protect you, or sometimes if that guy, maybe it's not time to give you that answer just yet. Maybe like Erica says, he hasn't processed that information just yet.
Tag, I'm gonna tell you something. If I ask you as a man, I already know. I'm giving you a chance to tell me real quick. So you lying. That's deception.
Wasn't me.
And if the tables were reversed, we keep saying the female to the male. What if it's you and you're asking someone a direct question and she lies or she doesn't answer? Do you give grace and say, oh, maybe she wasn't ready? Or do you she's a liar?
I'm going to call her Uber.
She's a liar, Erica. That's why he's calling it Uber.
Yes.
AJ says, don't lie to me. Give me a chance to choose for myself. A lie takes away my choices.
Yep.
Let me choose what I want to do.
Golden Brook this morning. Grace to tell me, you talking, thank you on it now.
No, tell me.
Pastor Todd says, how do you protect a person by lying?
Because that's where that thin line come from between love and hate.
Yeah,
Don't tell me and tell me. I'm step across that line.
Now, Mika, think about this. Standing around my kitchen island right here, Paul, Arlene, me, you, and Lily around, and we talking about this topic. And Paul say, a lie's a lie, Mika. You can picture him saying it, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lie is a lie, Mika.
And how many lies have you told?
So Wheaton says, I withhold information from my man. It's an as you need to know basis.
Yeah.
All right now, Wheaton.
And it could be basic information too. James correcting his. He goes, you protect by lying. See, the pastor, I know you done told somebody sometimes you gotta lie.
Who ain't told a lie?
Right.
Jesus. Overton Claiborne, who works on living single. He's a building maintenance guy. He said you have to do your due diligence, right? And Theodora Hay Golden, Rita says men wear Spanx.
They sure do.
And we'll spank that ass too. Charlotte says,
you rather them do that than wear the Spanx.
If you're lying, you're not protecting, you're hiding. Okay. God says, right. Overton says, send that happy email that cuts ties. Love it. Philipina says, I'm sorry, a lie's a lie in my opinion. How can you trust them anymore? It's some tough talk out here. He said, me. James Dodd says, no, sir. He had A-Trap said, don't lie.
Yeah, A-Trap don't lie.
Andrew said, if you tell one lie, you have to tell two. Now you always lie.
Mm-hmm. I forgot what you said.
Truer words have never been spoken.
It keeps going.
Wow. Keisha said, A-Trap, you're lying now with that comment. Oh, because he said A-Trap don't lie. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, there is a saying out there that says, if you don't lie, you don't have to remember what you said.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so earlier we talked about these two terms. Erica, in their very first comment, says, I don't understand why these two terms are linked. That happens to be my fourth question that I had marked to ask. Why are these two terms linked anyway? Nikki, we'll start with you. Why do you think these two terms are linked? All is fair in love and war.
Oh, Lordy. I don't know. I guess I don't know why the question is asked, but I would just assume that there's a lot of people who have been in relationships that are doesn't have trust in their partners or in their kids or their family members or all that kind of different stuff. So that's the only reason I can think of is why that question exists.
Okay, Mika, why are these two terms linked?
I think they were just trying to compare the two opposites. And one thing that I heard Derek say, and a couple other people I've heard since then and kind of done some research, that love and hate or love and war are not the opposite. Love and indifference are the opposites. So I think they were comparing two opposites, but love and indifference, now we can talk about that, but love and war, strategies might be the same. I may still, if I still love you, I may still go to war with you because it's a war of the heart, like it was mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But if I'm indifferent, I'll holler at you.
So that's a good point. So think about that. Think about a couple in a fight. Okay, heated fellowship, whatever you got to call it, Christians, to be okay with it. But let's just say y'all in the fight. Well, that's a battle of sorts, right? It's not physical, but it is a battle. It is, and so in war, just a series of battles, and in a relationship made up of a series of battles. And we even say things like, pick your battles, right? Like you don't want to be fussing and arguing about everything. Yeah. So there is, when you really, really think about it, some justification or some indication that these terms, or it would make sense that these two terms are linked because there are similarities in it, right? And so in my studies of this topic, it also stated that war is sometimes fought for love. Think about war and as old as it is,
Yeah.
right? You know, back in the olden days, back before even your big mama was born. You know, sometimes the war is fought for love. Some love the thrill of the battle or like to have a grand purpose. Think about some leaders, some of them crazy, some of them we done had as our own president.
Right.
Some of them, you know, the Russia done had as their president or whoever, right? So they like the thrill of the battle and a grand purpose, right? And so think about it. Now let's compare that to love. Aren't there some people who you say, oh, they just love drama? They like they gotta be it. If there ain't nothing going on, if it ain't no shit going on in their relationship, they not happy, right? We know people like that who like it's the thrill of it for them, and the sex that night is amazing.
Boy, I don't know about that. Bye.
Now tell me,
They do
I
say
ask
that,
them. I'm telling
I've
you,
heard people say that before.
right? I ain't get. Come on now, you know you ain't been saved all your little life here.
I'll beat your back in.
Others may fight because of the love of their country, right? You know, when 9/11 happened, everybody want to sign up for the military, right? The love of their country and want to protect it from any threat possible. They may also fight to protect their families and for their loved ones as well. So again, there are some indications that love and war are linked. And that leads me into, go ahead, Mickey, you want to say something? You messed up my little professional last transition, but go ahead since you got to talk. Since you got to talk.
Boy, I'll beat your back in. Don't be professional.
And you sound like mama.
I know, girl. Pray for me.
But say what you're going to say.
I was going to say, I think sometimes love will lead you to war. Like when you were using all those, you know, I'm just talking about your military background. You know, Russia, you know, I love my country, but I'll go to war for that.
Right.
So it's not, you know, sometimes you don't want to, but even in a relationship, sometimes you have to go to war for your relationship if you love somebody. So I think, you know, in that aspect, they can live in the same place. But yeah, that when you were talking about the military, you know, war and all that stuff, sometimes love will lead you to war.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to, again, the baby queen is not here, but we're going to try to do her some justice here. Just a quick moment here. And again, speaking of love and war, we're going to cover it on the segment known as
The Streets of Talking.
All right, you see, Mika can't dance that long no more. The older she get, the less longer her dance go.
I didn't even
late 30s getting me.
Yes, by the time we got to her, she was just on the chair dance. Shit, my knees is hurting there.
Because I didn't see that.
So, a lot of you may have heard that Beyonce has released her latest album, Renaissance. Okay, and on one of the songs, there's a writing credit of 24 writers. And let me bring up this Twitter. And this young lady, bear with me just a moment. There she is. Diane Warren asked the question, how can there be 24 writers on a song?
This is what y'all were talking. Okay.
How can there be 24 writers on a song? And she said, this isn't meant to shade. I'm just curious, which that's a lie, right? Speaking of lies, you lied. How can there be 24 writers on a song?
That's just like somebody starting out a sentence like, I ain't trying to be funny, but
she knew there's a such thing called the beehive, whatever they call it. The beehive, and they swarmed on this, right? And so immediately, music icon, I can't see the rest of his name, says, you mean how does our Black culture have so many writers? Well, it started because we couldn't afford certain things starting out. So we started sampling and it became an art form, a major part of the Black culture. Hip hop in America, had that era not happened, who knows? You good? I like it when people they tweet with you good. That's like the massive cap, you know, like I don't care, but I'm asking you all right, man. And then, of course, she gonna have some backers, and they come in and said the validity of her question is a legitimate one. Why every time something potentially affecting one of us, the Black culture, race shit comes in, questions can be asked. What the hell? We've never heard 24 songwriters on a single, so they come to her defense. Then Questlove.
He's bomb.
And he says in these posts, blurred lines, times you're going to see a lot of it. I actually applaud her giving people a seat at the table who otherwise would have never been considered otherwise. Like she didn't have to credit the Show Me Love crew, but just out of respect, she did them a solid.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. What they don't understand about writing credit, you're going to get some royalties off of that, as you go forward. So if you want some entertainment, look up this chick. Okay, Diane Warren.
Dirty Diana.
All of this thread.
She's far from Dirty Diana.
Just so you can know who she is, Diane Warren actually wrote the song. She got her start in 1985 as a writer, on the DeBarge album, and Rhythm of the Night was a song that she wrote. So that's what she got her jump start. She's won Golden Globes and Emmys and 2 Golden Globes, 3 consecutive Billboard Music Awards for Songwriter of the Year, and has been nominated for 13 Academy Awards. Now, part of the shade they shot is that how many Academy Awards you done won? And she goes, well, I've been nominated 13 times. And she's like, well, they call them Academies, but they're Grammys. And she says, well, I've been nominated 13 times. They said, oh, so you done won as many as I done won. So they clowned her, and they even started to age shame her and say, you 65, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's wrong.
So, all is fair in love and war. And when the hive swarms, you coming out the bay, and some of them Bayhive folks is Beehive folks is that LGBTQ community, because she big in that community. So they already good at fighting there.
They really don't fight good. They just swing them arms.
Where Mika go?
Where are you at, Mika? On the floor. She can't get up.
That fool said they good at fighting.
Yeah, man, some of these comments. Okay, hold on. I gotta get back to some of these comments. So H-Rap, when he was told he was lying with that comment, he goes, "We." Miss Sudderth said, "What's wrong with telling the truth, though?"
Okay.
Sometimes the truth hurts. The fifth beater says, "H-Rap, yes, you call it." And then AJ says, "I'll fight for you in love, but I'm not going to war against you in love." Okay,
that's good.
Okay, preacher. Trey says, "Sometimes you have to fight for love. Maybe that's the war part." But just think about it. We kind of almost full circle now, because at first we was like, nah, this shit don't go together. Now we see this shit go together. Yeah. Charlotte Wilson said the full quote is, "The rules of fair play do not apply in love and war. In both, we want to win no matter what."
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And how do you win in love? So that means the rules of fair play do not apply. Let's just take the war out of it. The rules of fair play do not apply in love. We want to win no matter what.
You do want to win in love. Right. You do want to win in war.
All is fair.
I guess it's perspective, because
would you rather win and lose a little honor, or would you rather lose and be dishonorable? And I want some of you sports fans out there to tell me that shit, because they say if you ain't cheating,
you ain't winning.
You ain't trying, girl. See,
you ain't winning.
You ain't trying. That's 2 you done got wrong today.
Well, at least had an 80.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's the thing, right? H-Rap to his fifth beater said, "Now you're being mean." And y'all go get offline with this. Hey, we ain't got time for y'all conversation. And then said, "Now you're being mean. I'm going to pout on my next show." They said, "Facts, Mika." And she goes, "And there is a fine line." Yep, we definitely know that. And it says, "Love will only lead you to war if it's a woman involved." Hey,
what?
It's been war. Oh, what? He ain't lying. He ain't lying.
Yeah.
No.
Start watching some of these shows, these historical pieces, these period pieces out there, and they'll tell you. Golden says that beehive is a killer. Yeah, surely is. Brandy says this is so good. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Was that the baby deer I backed today that you posted, or was that a bigger one? I couldn't really tell from the video. Let's see. A-Trap says, who want to win, the man or the woman? It depends. And AJ says, I'm for real when I say I'm not trying to win at all cost in love. I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay.
Now that's a man.
Nikki.
And now I don't know who now is he by himself though, because you and I both know some folks sometimes go to some places to try to win an argument that's like, really?
But you don't have to try to win an argument.
Yes.
When you're right, you're right. Ain't no trying to win an argument.
Oh, isn't everybody so nice and healthy and well developed and well rounded and all that shit right now?
Baby, boy, I cuss you out.
Right now. But let me get your ass in the heat of the battle. And let's see.
But I don't know. I think it just depends on what you're talking about. Because let's say if you're talking about your child, you love your child.
Yeah.
Your child is going off track, getting involved in things. You, as a parent, you will do all you can. And sometimes that even means having to almost go against, fight your child. Like, I need you to get it together. But then there comes a point, and I think this is where you say, is it fair? Sometimes you will love someone so much, you will give so much to do everything you can. You have some parents, their kids are struggling with drug addiction. They have emptied their accounts. They have done all that they can do. And you get to a point where it's like, I love you, but you got to decide what you're going to do. And that's hard, but that's because you love them. But if it's for selfishness, I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed. Now I'm getting angry. Now I hate you because you bring me so much shame. I don't want to deal with you. That's when you see the news and the parent shot the kid, or that's when you see the ugliness. So I think, again, it's a choice. And they say it's fair. No, it's not fair. But I'm choosing because I love you. I'm going to do all I can. And at some point, I got to decide. Now, your child can say, because I honor you, I'm trying to get through this. I'm going to do everything I can. And now we have a partnership, which is like that in a marriage. But let's say if the child is like, forget you, I'm going to do what I want to do. Now you have to decide at what point do you draw the line. And so, again, I just, when you talk about, I do see love and hate, love and war, and how that connects. But at the end of the day, is how far are you willing to go? And if it's a relationship, sometimes I love what Andre Jones said. Sometimes you could say it's not fair because you said, I'll step back. You know what? I love you enough. I honor you. It's about honor, right? I love and respect you enough to say, I'm going to step back. Okay. Even if I am right, it doesn't matter because I honor you enough to say, let me just take a step back. But if it's for selfish intent, then now I'm mad. I'm not getting what I want. I'm going to just go out and get it where I want. Then you start to create hate because now you're outside looking because you're not really committed to this thing here. You're not willing to fight for it. You just want what you want. That's when that starts to build up. And now I'm done with you, or you're not giving me what I want, so I'll take it. And then that's when you start to build the hate and the resentment and all of that. Yeah. So that's my perspective.
I smoked the TV, mama.
Erica, we don't have any money for you tonight.
You done stole my
I'll take hugs. I love being around y'all.
I'll dance for you, mama.
I'll give you a hug.
I want some money.
That was so funny.
Gator needs some money.
And be quiet.
But that was funny, Mika. Mika don't know who that is.
What? You don't know the movie? Wasn't that Jungle Fever?
Yes, Jungle Fever.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson played Gator. Well, they rerun movies. Movies don't stop just because the years.
Yeah, check that one out and then check out Love and War.
Yeah, I can do it.
But Erica, what I was thinking about in her statement, get out of here. I hope this thing don't. God dog it. No. Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. This something that's trying to update while I'm in the middle of a show. So she bring up what I thought about during her statement is that too often the term love is overused, okay?
Mhm.
And as a result, it has lost its meaning because it has been thrown
Yes.
out.
That's
It has
true.
been thrown out to gain an advantage or to gain a position, right? When in essence, he may love you, but does he respect you and value you?
That
That's what
part.
you need to be after anyway. Let's see, Diane, cousin Diane says, I'm late, but here tonight. Hey, family, what's going
Hey,
on? What's going on?
family.
And our reporter out of Indianapolis says, I think that was a different deer, Ivan. We have never seen that one before. Okay, report back. Back to you. All right, so great.
Stop reading like that. Thank you.
Andre Jones says, I walk away with someone that's trying to win at all costs. I'm too old for it at this stage. Right on.
Okay.
Right on.
You own it.
Gray says, facts. I won't allow anyone to create war in me. I can't love you correctly if I'm warring internally. FCKKK that. I don't
You
know
get
what
the point.
Pastor Di says, are we talking about relationships or about family and not relationship? Well, hey, relationships are relationships, right? They're just different kind, romantic, familiar, whatever the case may be.
I think that's a good question because with your family and friendships, are you willing to take different kind of love and hate
Why the hell is
than
she
you
holding
are
the
from
microphone?
relationships? Because
She
you
want
had
to be like
yours,
her big brother so bad. I ain't
You had
holding
yours.
mine. My hands are free.
but I want to make them see it. It's comedic effect.
Dollar store ass microphone. You got
You brought it, so if it's dollar store,
exactly.
you
That's
brought
where I
it.
know where it came from.
I'll beat your back in.
As a matter of fact, Dollar Tree got him.
Nikki, no, they don't.
AJ says true King Dog love is way overused. It
Way
really is, man.
overused.
It really is. So that brings us, we're a little over an hour here. So we'd like to thank Erica for being with us, and we're going to give our final thoughts here in just a moment. We appreciate all your participation in the chat room and whatnot. Again, without you, there is no us. So we appreciate it. You bring a whole different kind of energy. So we're going to give our final thoughts on this topic, love and war. And we're going to start with the seasoned queen out in Van Augustine, Nicole.
I am not in Ben Augustine.
That's what your mama said.
Yeah,
She probably did, but I'm not there, Mama.
I almost made it to Ben Augustine. No, you didn't, Mama.
Again, I'd just like to, first of all, let me just thank Erica for being on the show. And you know how much we love you and we respect you and we love what you're doing with your new show and all that different kind of stuff, the topic of it and stuff. That's going to help a lot of people. Hopefully it'll help Tig too. And then, but it was, I just really enjoyed you on the show and I enjoy you every time I see you. But so just thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be on the show with us. And also I'd like to thank our audience for being on. And all I can say is that whatever the relationship is, make sure that you are doing what's right in the relationship. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like you have to win the battle at all times, because sometimes you can just, like we were saying earlier, you got to make sure that you are doing the right thing and that you are not just wanting to be right all the time. So just be fair in the relationship, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your parents or your relationship with your spouse. Just make sure, see what's important first. Is it more important for you to win, or is it more important for you to sometimes just let it go?
All right. And we brought up, I think it was Theodora or Golden that gave you the compliment on your hair, and we agreed that you're gonna take this down Saturday, Sunday. And when you're doing it, your right eyelash is a little thicker than your left one, so you probably
that's
need to work
because
on
I had
those
allergies, sir. Okay. Why you always trying to be?
You owe no explanation. What finger did they put up on that?
Thank you. Don't pay him no attention.
No, this is war. Yeah. I had to take my lashes out.
All right. Tell me something, Mika. Final thoughts. And Erica laughing at you too. That's the hardest shit I laugh all day.
I'm not.
Yo, Mika. Yeah, you just talk so nice about her. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Y'all see how I'm holding this mic?
I wish you put it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to sit like Tex. Can you come over here tomorrow and fix mine?
Nope.
But guys, Erica, your spirit is amazing and
Mhm.
sweet. So thank you for coming on. Thank you to our viewers. And to make it quick about our topic, love and war, battles are fought in both, guys. So again, like Nikki said, you have to pick your battle, whether it's in love and war. And at the beginning of the conversation, it was a question about, do they live in the same place? Do they not? I appreciate y'all for changing my thoughts or making my thoughts go in a different direction, because now I'm like, do they? They may live in the same place, but strategies may be different to deal with both. Is where I'm at. Thank you. You good?
I'll cut your
Why that
ass
just make
off
me
for
laugh
that.
so much?
Yeah. Go ahead, Erica. Final
Oh
thoughts,
my
man.
gosh.
I don't know why I
First,
did
I
that.
just
Lord.
love y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are hilarious.
We
And
love
just
you.
the connection, and it's beautiful. Keep doing what you guys are doing, because I enjoy this show. I know so many people do. And you're absolutely right. It's like, it feels like family. I'm not gonna say it is family. So keep doing what you guys are doing, and you're doing it at such a level of excellence. And I just love it. Thank you for allowing me to join in and engage in this conversation. Um, there's so many facets to this. And I think at the root of it all, it's a choice. It's a choice, whether it's family, whether it's relationship, whether it's a coworker or your neighbor across the street. You get to choose how you want to love and serve people.
Right
It's
on.
not based on the expectations you create for other people. It's not based on whether or not they reciprocate, even though naturally we want it. Naturally we do. If I say hi, I really would love for you to speak back, but you might not. So at the end of the day, though, I have to choose how I'm going to love and serve people no matter what. And so, in terms of war, like you said, pick your battle. Pick your battle. Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is just
That's
bow
it.
out.
That's
That's
it.
right. That's
And it's
right.
because you choose to love them. And I know we use that word a lot. I think the best way to say is, do I honor you? Do I honor you enough? Do I value you enough? Do I see the God in you to be like, you know what, this stuff doesn't matter at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
And so if you are dealing internally with, but I want this, I need this, well, then that means there's something that you have to deal with. There's something inside of you that you are wanting somebody else to fulfill that they can't, and they're not obligated to. So again, I would say it's a choice.
Preach.
And at the end of the day, we do it, but we have to be mindful not to put expectations on other people, because if they don't show up, then you have a reason to be disappointed. But if you show up no matter what, then you can feel fulfilled knowing that you're being your authentic self regardless.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up. Trey says, Mika with this microphone, LOL. Golden Brooks gave some laughter. Charlotte says, thank you for a fun and great show. Appreciate you, Charlotte. Golden Brooks says, love y'all. Love
We
you,
love
Golden.
you.
So for me, again, in researching this topic, there are, the question was asked, what are the 5 rules of war? And some refer to it as principles of the laws of war. And I liken these to, again, the principles of love, right? And so I asked, how do these relate to principles of love? In war, you have to consider military necessity. In other words, is it necessary from a military standpoint for us to achieve our objective with this country? Or can we use more diplomatic means to be able to achieve that, right? So same thing here. Do you really need to raise your voice? Do you really need to go stay at your mama's house?
Exactly.
Whatever, right? What's necessary in love, right? The next is along with the distinction, right? And what that means is to discriminate between combatants and civilians. Sometimes in war, you got to understand, I can't go hit this particular area because there are a lot of civilians over there.
Yep.
And I'm really, because this is war, I'm trying to not hurt them. I'm trying to hurt their military. Guess what? I'm trying to get with your son. I'm not trying to hurt my mother-in-law, but sometimes we don't consider this along with distinction, and we don't distinguish too. We go into war, so we hurting everybody in our wake, right?
That's good.
The next is proportionality, right? So it means you're attacking military targets that have the least damage to civilian property, right? So again, same thing. Who I'm gonna bleed on in this situation? Now you done took the damn coffee table out. You done hurt the TV. You threw it at the TV. You know, the candle at the TV because you knew I bought you that shit for Christmas.
Valentine's Day.
I think this is over with, so I want to make sure your ass is gonna hurt. And in this football season, they in training camp, and you're gonna bust the TV right now, right? It's out of proportion. And then I made myself a note that says you don't want to nuke a supply bridge. It's not necessary. You can just bomb it. You know, you don't have to take nukes to it, right? And then last but not least is humanity and honor, as Erica had mentioned, you know. So sometimes you don't want to cause unnecessary suffering. So you got to consider the humanity in your love, right? In your battle, in your war within love. And sometimes you got to consider your honor. And sometimes chivalry is more than just opening a car door. Sometimes chivalry is
bowing out,
backing out. And those are my final thoughts.
Ted, will you please go get that microphone when you get off? There.
Next week on Queen3 and King, we will be discussing Control with special guest host David Wilkes.
Not that Control. I thought it was Janet Jackson's Control.
Me too.
Control. It's Control. Yeah, we've had an interesting conversation with regard to control. So we're going to talk about it, whether it be control in relationships, whether it be control on the job. Sometimes we got supervisors trying to pigeonhole us and keep us controlled, right? And you know, in pigeonholed in this particular area, and they put this glass ceiling on us or whatever, right? So control in a number of different ways, how to spot it. Because again, one of the things that came up on our show last week that Dave Chappelle brought up on his show, What's in a Name, which was his acceptance speech from the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, I think is what it is. But he said that control is just tools of oppression. It's just a tool of oppression. So control and oppression, we don't put together a lot of times. And if you tell somebody I'm oppressing you, shit, sometimes they're going to perk up a little bit, you know, but that's what it is. It's oppression, and oppression is just control. So again, I think that ought to be an interesting topic with Mayhem. And if you know Mayhem, you know, he's going to bring some juice. He's going to bring some juice with it. And A-Trap says Mayhem in the building. Yeah, it's gonna be off the chain.
That's
so
gonna be good.
Again,
I can't wait.
Oh yeah. So again, hey, we appreciate you, Erica. Hang on. Once we get through with our final promos and outro and whatnot, so we can chat in the backstage or whatever. But again, hey, thank you for watching us on this episode of Queen3 and King, and we'll see you next week.
My arm tired.
Same time, same channel. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll see you next week. Say bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
victory has arrived.
You know. We'll show out then. So I'm gonna start with both of y'all's hands right here.
Look for my thumb.
Look for your thumb.
Like if you can see my thumb on